already. We have Mr. Errol Gregory, Director of the board, and we also have in our presence Mr. Vivian Daly, who is the chairman of our credit committee. I have apologies from the chairman of our supervisory committee, Mr. Deryke Smith, CFO of COK, Ms. Linda Miller, Chief Operating Officer of COK, Mr. Siret Sibel, who is our Chief Business Development Officer, Mrs. Bridget Hosang, HR and Learning Manager, Mrs. Peter from the Department of Cooperatives and Friendly Society, representing the Registrar of Cooperatives. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Welcome to all of you who are here as our specially invited guests. I expect that Mr. Robin Levy from the League will be along shortly. My colleagues, staff members, and I want to just recognize Mr. Andre Gordon, who started this process with us and who has moved on. And I invited Andre to come, and I'm very glad he's here. Good evening, everybody. It is always a distinct pleasure for me to be part of occasions of this nature. Today marks a very important event in the history of COK Sodality Cooperative Credit Union Limited. It is an event of which we are incredibly proud and excited to share it with you. For over 50 years, COK Sodality has remained steadfast in providing premium services to meet the expectations of our members. As one of the leading credit unions in Jamaica, we are no strangers to innovation and evolution. We take pleasure in officially introducing our new core banking system, Universal Premier Core Banking Suite. We began operating on the new platform on August 2nd, and we are very pleased with the feedback we have been getting from our members and from the staff. This system was developed with the aim of improving our operational efficiencies while providing online, user-friendly interface to offer to our over 250,000 members additional convenience. This is not new to us in offering convenience to our members. In the early 1990s, we commissioned a system which was called QSYS, and this served us very well for about 10 years. And I'm pleased to say that at that time, we didn't have many systems that served the needs of credit unions. And there were about 12 credit unions that used the QSYS system that was developed by COK. In the year 2000, do you remember the scare about what was going to happen to us in Y2K? We bought into it. But it was a good thing because it allowed us to replace QSYS with FIN 2000, a system which served us until our recent switch over to Universal. FIN 2000 met the needs of the credit union throughout the period that it was commissioned. Over the years, with the growth of our membership and with the increasing pressure on our staff and operations, we recognized that changes had to be made. By partnering with Smart Solutions, we have been able to introduce the Universal Premier Core Banking Suite, which we are officially launching this evening. It has significantly improved our efficiency by making all transactions digital and even reduced our carbon footprint by assisting us in the reduction of our paper consumption. And I know that the Treasurer is very glad to hear that because it means a reduction in our expenses. To ensure a high level of competence among our staff members, we have been preparing them to use the system for over 2 years. Their enthusiasm for the Universal Premier Core Banking Suite was observed in many workshops in which they participated. We all had to do the training, including me. So I had to take off my CEO hat at some point and become a student. I would therefore like to personally acknowledge the dedication of our staff throughout this transition period and their assistance in the evolution of COK. We have seamlessly transitioned into the digital era of financial services delivery. And we did it by just using COK staff and Smart Universal staff. How does that sound to you? We paid no consultants. We did it ourselves. And I have to say, we have over 35 staff members who became what we called SMEs, special subject matter experts. They know the system inside out and they know what to do. I'd like to acknowledge all the persons and institutions that have helped us to achieve this milestone. And of special note, I want to acknowledge the contribution of Smart Solution for the way in which they have partnered with us in our transition. You know, ordinarily when this happens, they would come down from Canada and supervise the cutover. Well, because of COVID-19, they couldn't travel. And so all of that was done using the technology that was available to us. So without them, none of this would have been possible. And since I've talked about the technology, I have to say thank you to our telecommunications partner in this process, Flow, who provided high-quality services during the setup of the Universal Premier Core Banking Suite. Ladies and gentlemen, today we make a giant step into the future for COK Sodality Cooperative Credit Union. We have made the investment with a firm belief that it will not only improve our internal operations, but more importantly, provide added value to the owners of the credit union. And when I say the owners of the credit union, I mean all 270,000 members. They own the credit union. So, welcome to the launch of our new banking platform and the start of a new era in the life of COK Sodality Credit Union. God's richest blessings to you. And I'm sorry the minister isn't here now because I had a special word. Oh, but he has come just in time. Very well.
You call my name
and you're there.
So
we're friends from a long time.
And I would give you a big hug if it was a social distance.
I know.
Normal hugs, eh?
Yes.
We're going to elbow together.
Elbow. All right,
All right.
good. So if you sit down there, sir, I have one word to say to you. Yes. Where the reserve seat is. And I'm glad the minister came in just as I was, well, before I sat down. And minister, this has nothing to do with the core banking system. But it has to do with providing service to our members. I'm begging you, while I have you here, please forgive me while I put in a plug for credit unions. With respect to the payment of NIS pensions, sir, why is it that members of the credit unions of Jamaica cannot get their pension payments paid into their credit union accounts. Why do they have to open bank accounts? Because you're no longer paying them through the post office. You know, sir, the credit union movement has nearly 2 million members. Many of them are pensioners, NIS pensioners. I am pleading with you. They already have their credit union accounts, and we're just begging you. Don't let them have to go join another financial institution. They want to get their money through their credit unions. Minister, I'm begging you, and I'm so pleased to see you. Thank you.
Welcome to the Minister of Finance and the Public Service. They call him Santa Clarke or Carpet. He's been campaigning. It was a little late. Ambassador, I'm sorry, I have to be myself. So, are you sure you're talking to the right minister? Come September 3, it seems as if you're sure he's going to be there with the question you posted. You were so sure. September 3. Your time is up. Your time is up, Ambassador. I'm pleading with you. I'm pleading with you. Don't let that happen. Boy, what if this is a premonition? We don't know. We don't know. There are some matters to come on the 3rd of September, 2020. I'm back to being your host only. We bring greetings now. We thank so much for coming to bring greetings the Chief Financial Officer of COK Sodality, Mr. Deryke Smith.
Thank you, Chairperson. Dr. the Honorable Nigel Clarke, Minister of Finance and the Public Service. Mr. Ewan Shaw, Treasurer at COK Sodality Cooperative Credit Union. Representing the President of the Board, Mr. Stedman Peterson, who is unavoidably absent from today's proceedings. Mr. Danville Dockery, Chairman of the ICT Committee at COK Sodality Cooperative Credit Union Limited. Members of the Board of Directors of COK Sodality Cooperative Credit Union Limited. Ambassador Aloun Assamba, Chief Executive Officer. Mr. Robin Levy, CEO, Jamaica Cooperative Credit Union League. Ms. Peter, from the Department of Cooperatives and Friendly Societies, colleagues and fellow cooperators, and other specially invited guests and members of the media. It is my pleasure to bring greetings on behalf of COK Sodality Cooperative Credit Union Limited. In 2017, when we decided to upgrade our internal banking system, we searched around the globe to find a company which operates in the credit union space with a high level of integrity and efficiency and offer premium quality services which would meet the needs of our members. Through our competitive tendering process, we initiated a partnership with a Canadian company, Smart Solution. It is with immense pride and a great sense of accomplishment that I stand here before you to announce the completion of Phase 1 of the COK Sodality Core Banking System Implementation Project. The project stemmed from a recognition of a need to enhance our operational efficiency. Our management team led research activities in which information was gathered to determine the specific information technology needs to transform our credit union. with the participation of our loyal membership. Our focus groups were designed and the results assisted us in the identification of the ultimate solution, which was to execute a complete overhaul of our core banking system. This solution was endorsed by our board of directors. This phase of the project took us on an agonizing while exciting 2-year journey. We are now on track to have full implementation of all phases of the project by February 2021. Our members will now benefit from a more enhanced service delivery, and COK Sodality Cooperative Credit Union is once again at the pinnacle of the financial services delivery market. We have been monitoring the feedback from our members and have noticed an increased sense of anticipation amongst them as they were clearly looking forward to the launch of the various aspects of our new system, especially online banking and mobile application platforms. We have invested approximately $200 million in this new system for the benefit of our members. Based on the implementation of this core banking system, we now project an annual 8% growth in income from loans and an annual 6.5% reduction in operating expenses. This should see COK recovering the cost of the upgraded system within 3 years. Over the past 5 years, we have seen an increase of 6% in membership, 56% increase in our loan portfolio, and a 47% increase in our total asset base. With this new core banking system, we have projected a 12% increase in membership, 48% increase in loan portfolio, and a 45% increase in our total assets base by the year 2024. These are exciting times, and we are all part of a historic process. We are boldly going where no credit union has gone before. COK Sodality Cooperative Credit Union is transcending into the future of financial service delivery through its digital transformation. We thank our directors, volunteers, our membership, Smart Solution, staff members, and in particular, the project team for their contribution to the successful launch of COK Sodality new core banking platform. Thank you.
So much, Mr. Smith. I really like those projections. You've really increased your loan portfolio by over 50%? That's excellent. We'll talk some more about that a bit later on. I'm a member of COK Sodality, by the way. I haven't been in for a little while, but I really should make sure I have access to one of the portfolios because this is a great institution, as I've said before. You do savings. Yes, I like investment because that is the way we grow wealth. So I'm going to make sure to pop in and see my usual advisor. Really good presentation, Deryke Smith. We're going where no other credit union has gone before. You heard that and you remain silent. You should have applauded that line because it's beautiful. Now to bring greetings on behalf of the President, let's have the Treasurer of COK Sodality, Mr. Yuan Shaw. Round of applause. Ono Dedi.
Thank you, Madam Chairperson. Dr. the Honorable Nigel Clarke, Minister of Finance and Public Service, Mr. Danville Dockery, Chairman of the ICT Committee, COK Sodality Cooperative Credit Union. Mr. Clive Medwinter, our Vice President. Members of the Board of COK Sodality. Ambassador Aloun Assamba, Chief Executive Officer. Mr. Deryke Smith, Chief Financial Officer and Project Sponsor. Mrs. Peter Johnson, Senior Director of Inspector, Department of Cooperatives and Friendly Societies, specially invited guests and members of the media, colleagues, all. I'm here to bring greetings on behalf of the Board of Directors and COK Sodality Cooperative Credit Union. As our President, who is unavoidably absent today, I'm here to just represent him. Now today we mark the introduction of an innovative movement which is guaranteed to serve our members well. And as I stand here and I see the Honorable Minister, memories go back to maybe about 15 years when he just came back from London, and he walked into my office and asked me about a loan. And I'm sure he got a loan. Yes. Just wondering. You see, the memory is not so good. Yes. I think you paid back, you know. But that was my first encounter with the minister. And, you know, he is a COK member. And as William Blake once said, and when I say William Blake, I want to remind us that when we introduce a system as we have introduced, what was once proved, or what is proved, was also once imagined. And there are other philosophers who say things like what you can imagine, you can make into life and reality. And what we have done at COK is to make the new system a reality in our new life, because the new dispensation that we face now is really a new life. The new core banking system was a feat executed by our phenomenal, and not only phenomenal, but superlative staff members, and as well as our local and international partners. It has been created expressly for our members' benefit and promises to be easy, or rather simple to use, yet has some sophistication, and it is going to guarantee safety and also security for our members. The universal core banking system is an important upgrade, and not only an upgrade, it is a phenomenal transformation of our existing technology, and was chosen with the experience of our valued members as the top priority. In other words, we put our members first. It is user-friendly, and I can attest to that. A week and a half ago, I went into the branch to do a transaction, and I was signed up on the internet banking system, and now I can just walk down the road and press an app and, you know, I see my balances. I mean, I can transfer monies now, I can do all sorts of things that I could not do before. You have come to expect us to be ahead of the competition. And we have been doing this for probably over 50 years. The CEO, Mrs. Assamba, interestingly has been around or has supervised the transition of 3 systems. This is, I mean, when she sat there talking, I was thinking about it, and I recognized that the 3 systems that we have had, she has been phenomenal in getting those systems. For some strange reason, it's that the system hook on her. So every time we have to change a system, she has to be here. So I'm glad you were here to be the captain of this new transition. Now, we strive to keep current our offering at COK and have consistently revised our technologies and used our service delivery every decade for the past 40 years. And we do this because we want to meet the changing demands of our members. We are able to launch this platform today because of a culmination of 2 years hard work and planning. And to some extent, we have had some divine intervention because we didn't know that we were going to have COVID-19. And this system is perfectly positioned to allow our members to glide through COVID-19. In other words, they'll be able to do their transaction with or without this particular pandemic. So we are grateful for the feedback we have received so far. And today I want to salute the management and staff for the part they played in making this day a reality. Thank you for helping us keeping the credit union as the leading credit union in Jamaica. And most of all, we want to thank you, all members, for the continued support that you have given us. Right, Emily? Thank you very much.
Whole video presentation on the system, because I would love to see it as well and to know that I can be on the beach and I can be on my COK app and I can doing whatever transfers I want right there. And Mr. Shaw is absolutely right, because there's so many opportunities coming with the challenge of COVID. And I'm sure the staff as well had some good lockdown time to do some things that ordinarily you would get distracted doing. And to hear now that it has come to perfection 2 years after, and you will see the completed thing by February 2021, it's good that we're using the opportunity that COVID has presented to all of us. We're going to have now a presentation via video, a message from Smart Solution. So we'll be hearing from Mr. Ian Tate, who is CEO and President of Smart Solution. It's about 6 minutes, so get your popcorn and let's see what Mr. Tate has to say.
Good afternoon, everybody. I am the President and CEO of Smart Solution, and I'm coming to you today from our corporate offices here in Aurora, Ontario, Canada. And as many of you know, over the long weekend in August, we worked very closely with our partners in Jamaica, COK Sodality Credit Union, to upgrade their technology platform from their existing slightly outdated technology platform to our new Universa digital retail banking platform, as well as many of our other digital front-end components such as mobile apps, digital banking, and things like that. But I really today wanted to just reach out and give a big warm thank you to the teams from both organizations, COK Sodality Credit Union and also Smart Solution implementation team, as this was a very large project to upgrade a client of this size, one of the longest running conversions we've dealt with, and started Thursday evening and ran all the way till Monday morning, 90 plus hours nonstop, and each team would hand off to the next team, and the coordination, the diligence, and the thoroughness was really impressive. And at the end of the day, we're very happy to see that we had a very successful, clean conversion. And now we are moving into our post-conversion phase. and dealing with any of the small hiccups that come out of any conversion. And even that, thanks to the dedication from the COK team to do really awesome training with the team, the amount of support-related questions has been very limited. So we've been very impressed. To top that all off, I think, or to start back at the beginning, we were quite excited and proud that our organization and our Universa Digital Suite was chosen as the platform of choice for COK Credit Union. And one of the reasons, I mean, we're obviously excited anytime our solutions get chosen, but when you're working with such a large partner as COK, who really were thorough in their analysis of solutions that were in the market, having reviewed almost 13 different vendors, when the final result comes down and our solution is chosen, it really validates our mission and our diligence to build one of the best digital technology retail banking platforms in the market. So at that moment, we were very proud and still are today. And from working with the COK team over the last year, we have really come to see that we make for very good partners. They are doing things a lot differently and realize that in order to truly compete in today's digital marketplace, they need to be on a platform that can provide them with all these digital capabilities, running on the same technologies as all the other fintechs in the marketplace are running on, such as Java and relational databases and browser front end and things like that. So with all of these newer technologies and technology changing so fast every day, these will provide COK, Sodality Credit Union, with massive benefits as new capabilities come to market and they need to be integrated into the core, whether they're being built and integrated by our development team or whether they're other fintechs or other third parties or regulatory agencies that are building requirements that we need to interface into. Being on a current technology platform allows them to be able to integrate much faster than being on a legacy platform, as many other vendors in the marketplace are still dealing with. So once again, I really just wanted to say thank you to the teams involved. This was a massive undertaking, as I'm sure everybody who worked on the team came to realize. And we're really looking forward to the next few years, the next several years, the next many years, working closely with COK and its team as we continue to build out all of the other capabilities that we know are going to be hitting the market very soon. So thank you, and welcome to the COK team, to our set of happy customers. Thank you.
So what I'm pleased about this system, which we're going to see a bit of unveiling of now, you heard from Ian Tate that there are about 13 other systems. Sounds as if you have requests for proposal, 13 other entities at least, plus that, so 14, carefully researched, and you chose from the group and you selected Smart Solution to work with. That's my deduction, but we will hear some more. Let's welcome the people who have been behind the project management for this core banking platform. For an overview of the platform, let's welcome Mrs. Tina Livingston, who is a business lead, as well as Mr. Isakalu, Duffus, technical project manager. Both of them will come. Round of applause.
Thank you, Chairperson. Good evening, everyone. Dr. the Honorable Nigel Clarke, Minister of Finance and the Public Service, Mr. Ewan Shaw, Treasurer at COK Sodality Credit Union Limited, representing the President of the Board, Mr. Stedman Peterson, who is unavoidably absent for today's proceedings. Mr. Danville Dockery, Chairman of the ICT Committee at COK Sodality Cooperative Credit Union Limited, members of the Board of Directors at COK Sodality Credit Union Limited, Ambassador Aloun, Assamba, CEO, Deryke Smith, Chief Financial Officer, COK Sodality, specially invited guests, Mr. Robin Levy, Group CEO, Jamaica Cooperative Credit Union League, Mrs. Peter Johnson from the Department of Cooperatives and Friendly Societies, colleagues, the project team, other specially invited guests, and members of the media. Good evening. As the business lead for this project, I would like to say thank you to every member that worked ardently to make our digital transition a reality. In keeping with our commitment to provide our members with the best financial experience, the organization took a strategic decision to embark on a project to implement the Universal Core Banking Suite. As our CEO said earlier, this has been a 2-year-long journey for our team members internally, and they have really worked hard. I have observed the high levels of enthusiasm, excitement as members of staff participated in numerous project activities, culminating in today's launch. A major deliverable of this project was to ensure that the staff members were trained and highly competent with the new system. The training aspect of the project was crucial to the successful implementation of the system, thus facilitating a seamless transition to the new platform. And this we were able to achieve. When we opened our doors on August 4th, it was a seamless transition. Members could hardly tell that we had changed our banking platform. And I think that was exceptional. I will now like to invite our technical project manager to speak more about the dynamics of our new core banking system. Thank you. Mr. Duffus.
Thank you. Good evening. The key feature of the Smart Universal System is that it takes advantage of the advancement in graphical user interface technology, which has all functionalities of a web browser. Data from the FIN 2000 core banking system and its subsystems were migrated into the new core banking system using advanced data conversion technology and application program interface, or APIs. This allowed a seamless transition of information from the previous system to the new system. Adopting the Smart Universal System at COK Sodality Credit Union provides members with benefits to its staff and members. Some of these benefits are increased productivity, efficiency, and improvement in the customer service delivery channel. Our customers will now be able to make transactions and interact with our core banking system using their mobile app, internet banking portal, alert management, and interactive voice banking system. Please join me in presenting to you COK Sodality Credit Union new core banking system.
Introducing COK iBank, the faster, safer, and more convenient way to access your COK accounts. Visit www.cokcu-ibank.com. Enter your username and password to log in and confirm your security image. Then you can view your accounts. You will notice a menu at the top left of your screen. Here, you can create transfers between your accounts. Simply click on an option. Select the date for the transfer. Identify the from and to accounts. Type in the amount you wish to transfer. Click Next. Then confirm if the information is correct and your transfer is complete. For a transaction alert, select Manage Alerts from the menu. Then Manage Alert Recipients. Enter your email address or cell number and follow the instructions to get notified of transactions on your account. Under Extra, you can disable your debit card, change your password, get statements, create term deposits, and more in just a few clicks. It's that easy. Log on to COK iBank today and enjoy more access, more control, and more peace of mind with COK Sodality. For more information, call 876-960-4226.
Kid, you see them talk for a short period of time. Mr. Duffus? Mr. Duffus? Present, miss. Mr. Duffus, I have a lot of questions for you, because you use some words I don't understand. Graphical user interface technology. So this is when you move from QSS to FIN, well, from FIN to this new system. And you just transpose everything onto this new thing. Made it seem so easy, but I'm sure it's extremely complex. During the question and answer, we'll find out whether we can transfer from, because you're not a commercial bank, but you don't behave like on a commercial bank now, No. I know, 250. I know, and Lord, speak up, CEO. I know, and I own the company. I'm so happy to say that. I'm one of the over 250,000 people who have a share in ownership. Yeah? But what I want to find out if you can transfer from the credit union to a commercial bank on this new system. And he nods in agreement. So we'll hear some more in the question and answer. We want to keep the money with COK. We know. We want whole heap of loan from COK too. Good interest rate and everything. So great. I'm going to invite now the chairman of the ICT, Mr. Danville Dockery, for an endorsement on this system. Mr. Dockery.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Dr. the Honorable Nigel Clarke, Minister of Finance and the Public Service, Mr. Yuan Shaw, Treasurer at COK Sodality Cooperative Credit Union, representing the President of the Board, Mr. Stedman Peterson, who is unavoidably absent from today's proceedings, members of the Board of Directors of COK Sodality Cooperative Credit Union, Ambassador Aloun and Assamba, CEO, COK Sodality Credit Union, Mr. Deryke Smith, Chief Financial Officer and Project Sponsor, special invited guest, Mr. Robin Levy, Group CEO, Jamaica Cooperative Credit Union League, Mrs. Peterson Johnson, representing the Department of Cooperatives and Friendly Societies, colleagues, other special invited guests, and members of the media. Good evening. The ICT Committee is proud of the initiative of COK Sodality has taken to modernize their internal operations as well as enhance their member experience. The new Universal Core Banking Suite will allow timely and configurable notification on accounts, fast and easy transfers, and finally a quicker turnaround time for accessing products of the credit union. The committee has contributed to this digital transition through the initiative of baseline activities, evaluation of all proposed systems during the pre-selection of procurement. The committee also facilitated negotiations and provided guidance throughout the implementation process. Additionally, we assisted with the transmission of reports on activities between the board of directors and other stakeholders, and identified measures of tracking activities against overall objectives. There are numerous features included in the new universal system. The system was tailored with the aim of increasing our competitive advantage through a reduction in manual activities for the back office, increased productivity and efficiency through documented and repeatable processes, technological innovation for faster and better product development, We also aim to increase our market share through the ability to execute faster service delivery and high-valued products at the most economic cost to our members. With the implementation of this new system, there is no doubt that COK Sodality Credit Union will be propelled to the top of Jamaica's financial marketplace. It is now my honor to introduce our guest speaker, Dr. the Honorable Nigel Clarke, Minister of Finance and the Public Service. Before being appointed as Minister, Minister Clarke was the Deputy Chairman of the and CFO of the Musson Group, a diversified conglomerate headquartered in Jamaica with operations in the Caribbean, Central America, and the Pacific. He is also Deputy Chairman of the PBS Group, a technology firm operating in the Caribbean and Central America, and Chairman of the Epi Limited, a boutique finance institution in Jamaica. Minister Clarke currently serves as Ambassador of Jamaica in the area of economic affairs and has previously served as a senator in the appointed upper house of Parliament in Jamaica, where he focused on legislation concerned with economic, financial, and business issues. He is chairman of the National Youth Orchestra of Jamaica, a non-profit that empowers young youth in Jamaica through classical music education, and a member of the board of directors of the YOA Orchestra of the Americas. Welcome, Minister Clarke. We are honored to have you here with us today.
Members of the COK family, which includes board, management, shareholders and depositors, stakeholders, president, ladies and gentlemen of the media, those who are joining us on social media, on the various platforms, whether they be Facebook or Twitter or Instagram or any of the multiple options that are available. Madam Master of Ceremonies, good afternoon. Based on the pronouncements of my good and dear friend, Ambassador Assamba, it looks as if she has seen the green light. Which is a good thing. But indeed, when this invitation was given and accepted, we wouldn't have known that we would be in this particular period. But I thought that the work that COK is doing is of a nature and of an impact that it is absolutely important to endorse the investments that are being celebrated here today. Now, about 20 years ago, not exactly 15, about 20 years ago, when I returned to Jamaica, or shortly thereafter, I was in the process of making a purchase, a real estate purchase, which would have been my first home. And, you know, when you see me in Parliament and we present the reforms that we are doing, where we abolish the minimum business tax, or we abolish the asset tax, or we abolish ad valorem stamp duty on real estate transactions. And you see the passion with which I make those presentations. I'm doing it because I understand the impact that it has on people's lives. So I'll just share with you my experience, which dovetails very neatly with what we're celebrating here today, or certainly the institution. I was in the market for the purchase of my first home, and I eventually ended up purchasing one which wasn't so far removed from me, and had everything lined up. I was good to go. Had my deposit, had my mortgage provider, and I am off to the races. And then when we're about to go through the thing, I get a letter, like many Jamaicans, from my lawyer that set out all of the closing costs. And when I look at it, it's as if I'm going to buy a new house. And half of the closing costs were fees and taxes of various kinds to the government of Jamaica, whether in the form of stamp duty or the buyer's share of transfer tax or the taxes on financial transactions like mortgages. That derailed my plans completely. As I said, I had everything else. And, you know, my parents are ones to make you go out on your own and sink or swim. So I'm on my own. And somebody gave me the suggestion, look, maybe COK can help you with the closing costs. And it was one afternoon that I walked into his office, it's absolutely correct, about 20 years ago, and I was successful in obtaining a loan from COK for the closing costs for the first real estate or home purchase that I made. So kudos to COK on that. And so when the opportunity came for me to be Minister of Finance, having had that experience of how high transaction costs to the government impede home ownership in Jamaica and impede the ambition that many Jamaicans have to own the roofs over their head, I didn't waste time. I didn't waste time. In my first budget presentation, I abolished ad valorem stamp duty on real estate transactions and slashed transfer tax and abolished ad valorem tax on financial transactions such as mortgages and the like. Did so knowing the impact that it has on young people who are trying to climb the economic ladder, and a home purchase being the most significant transaction that any individual or most individuals will engage in. So I'll just make a little plug because of the time that we're in. There are sometimes that administrations make a choice not to run on their record. I say to you here that our record of achievements is long, and we, unlike in the past when people run on house, we will be running on our long record of achievements, including what I mentioned just now. Now, we are in the midst of a pandemic which represents the worst economic crisis that the world has seen since the 1930s and presents a tremendous challenge to countries all over the world. The good news is that Jamaica would have entered this crisis with buffers of which I've spoken about considerably and written about. We would have been able to draw on reserves that we have built up, both monetary reserves. We have increased our foreign exchange reserves in the central bank by over $1 billion between 2016 and 2019. We would have built up, cash reserves that were targeted for debt repayment, over $87 billion of cash that we were able to deploy this year to cushion the economic impact of the pandemic. The fact that we had reduced interest rates 10 times since 2018, the official BOJ interest rate stands at 0.5%, would mean or means that the economic blow that people would feel would be softened relative to had interest rates remained high. And the fact that we enjoy macroeconomic stability has preserved policy flexibility. So these buffers have come, these buffers that we have at this time of crisis are serving us well. And, the one thing about crisis is that it represents opportunity, an opportunity for us to be even better in the future. And over the next several years, we are going to be investing in ensuring that the macroeconomic stability that we enjoy is preserved. And macroeconomic stability, 4 things that we need to have, which we have never really had at the same time before the current period, and that is financial sector stability, low and stable inflation, price stability, adequate reserves in your central bank, reserves of foreign exchange, and fourthly, you have fiscal sustainability, that you can pay your bills as they come due. And due to the hard work of Jamaicans, to whom that particular victory belongs, we enjoy that macroeconomic stability, which we must protect at all costs. So anybody who comes to you with proposals, I'm not talking political here, any interest group that would disturb any one of those components, you tell them that, I won't tell you what to tell them, but the essence of the message is that we must protect our macro stability with everything that we have. Now, macroeconomic stability is necessary, but it is by no means sufficient. Upon the foundation of stability, we have to ensure that we continue and we accelerate the reform to our macro fiscal institutions, the central bank independence that I have been championing, which is now at the final stages, having come out of the Joint Select Committee. We must get that done. The implementation of a fiscal council, the improvement in our governance structures and our governance architecture, deepen the social safety net, and ensuring that we pursue greater levels of economic formalization, that we move to ensure that financial inclusion and access to credit is something that is greatly expanded, that we deepen supply chains in the economy, even as we boost the competitiveness of our productive sectors, that we pursue digitization in the private and the public sectors, much as you are doing here at COK, to strengthen our economic and our social resilience. We are going to have to ensure that while we do this, we also ensure that education, which is the ladder of social mobility in all countries, including Jamaica, receives its fair share of investment. And as we do this, we have to continue to invest in our communities and in our people. And I am confident that the Jamaican spirit, which has been a spirit that has overcome time and time again, is such that working and taking advantage of the deep reservoir of social capital that we have in Jamaica, working together, that we, Jamaica, will recover stronger. And that is our promise and our destiny as a country and as a people. Now, the credit union movement is a vitally important movement in Jamaica. With over $130 billion of assets, and as Ambassador Assamba mentioned, up to 2 million members, 250,000 of which are members of COK, it is an indispensable sector and an indispensable pillar of the Jamaican economy. And along the lines of preserving macroeconomic stability, it has to be a sector that we protect. Because in protecting this sector, we're protecting the livelihood of over 2 million Jamaican members. And it is for that reason that we have been pursuing the Credit Union Special Provision Bill, which is with stakeholders in the credit union movement for review. And in the next term, we will be taking on board the feedback from stakeholders and putting that bill into law. Now, what that bill promises to do is to bring the credit union movement under the umbrella sort of regulatory and supervisory framework of the Bank of Jamaica. And I've seen comments from various members of the credit union movement, of the leadership of the credit union movement, welcoming that as a step in the right direction. Because ultimately, that will lead to greater protection for the credit union movement and for members of the credit union movement in particular. By being under that umbrella, we will strengthen credit unions and thereby strengthen the sector, making it more resilient. And by making the credit union sector more resilient, remember it has over $130 billion of assets, we preserve financial sector stability. So the systemic stability of our financial sector will be greatly enhanced with the reforms that will come with the credit union bill, which obviously we are developing in partnership with our credit union stakeholders. Now, some of the benefits include access to liquidity. The central bank is the last provider of liquidity to the financial sector, but it only, on a regular basis, that liquidity window is available to institutions that it supervises, right? Because it's only when you supervise entities you can make a determination of the kind of liquidity support that you want to make available and the terms under which you will make it available. Now, it's public information, there's a newspaper article on it, that in this pandemic, that liquidity support has been useful for the credit union movement. Didn't need it. Credit union movement overall, right? That liquidity support has been useful. But that liquidity support was not provided under the normal course of business. It was provided because we are in a pandemic. For the credit union movement to be secure indefinitely, we need to make sure that it has access to the liquidity window of the Bank of Jamaica, which will strengthen its resilience. And in doing so, we would make the credit union movement stronger. Now, in addition, there's something called deposit insurance. And deposit insurance, came about after our experience in the 1990s when we don't have to go over that. And what deposit insurance is that every depositor at a deposit-taking institution, which is defined under the Banking Act, and that includes building societies and commercial banks, has their deposits secured up to a maximum level. So even if something were to go wrong with that deposit-taking institution, the depositor would still be able to have access to the deposit from the deposit insurance framework. But that framework is only available to deposit-taking institutions. And for the time being, until we pass that bill, credit unions are outside of that framework. Now,
We have our own stable.
yeah, I know. Understood. Now, just today in the Senate, the administration would have piloted and brought to passage a change that will see the limit on deposit insurance being increased, being doubled from $600,000 to $1.2 million. And it becomes effective once it is gazetted, which we hope will occur in a matter of days, if not a week or two. So what that means is that any person with a deposit in a deposit-taking institution up to the amount of 1.2 million, even if something were to happen, that money is protected by the deposit insurance framework. And that means that over 97% of the accounts in deposit-taking institutions are covered by the new deposit insurance measures. And what we want to do very shortly is to ensure that all or most of the 2 million members of the credit union movement are also covered by deposit insurance. And so the plan of the government, and I'll say in the next term, is to increase the security of members in the credit union movement by passing legislation that brings the 2 million members of the credit union movement under the protection of the deposit insurance scheme. I think that is something. Go ahead. You understand what that? And by so doing, we'll be working with the credit union stakeholders to increase even more than it is today the deposit protection in the credit union movement. So the credit union movement has a long history in Jamaica, and in particular COK as the largest credit union in Jamaica, as I mentioned, plays an incredible role and an indispensable role, and one that I have personal experience with and can attest to. And this investment that you are making at a time of uncertainty and pandemic is a testimony to your long-term confidence in Jamaica, and more so, a testimony to your commitment to providing your customers with best-in-class service. Because from what I heard from the demonstration of the system just now, it looked like you're gone abroad, right? Where you can check your deposits and make movements on your cell phone, and that, I know that from experience, that when you change a core banking system, it's a torturous affair that sometimes can take long and go over the time that was originally allotted. So when I hear you say, and I don't want to use a technical language here, but that you just back up the data and, one night you just flick the switch and transfer the data over to the next system, I know that this is like stepping into the future. And I want to commend COK for the vision that you have in making and concluding on this investment, even at a time such as this, because it speaks to your confidence in your business and in the future that you see for your business. And it's very important. And the thing about investment in technology is that investment in technology improves competitiveness, and by improving competitiveness, you improve the output per unit of input. And by improving output per unit of input, what that means is that you have economic expansion. So if all businesses across Jamaica were doing what you are doing, which is investing in technology, our rate of expansion would be far in excess of what it is, right? Because as I repeating myself, by investing in technology, we are increasing productivity and output per unit of input. So some of that input now can go into producing other things. So the aggregate output increases overall. And the role of policy is to create an environment where competition can flourish for that reason. And so we know that you are most probably leading the way in this regard, and I want to commend you for that and to wish you all the best in your endeavors as you continue to provide financial solutions for Jamaicans and helping Jamaicans to realize their dreams, their goals, and their aspirations. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Minister of Finance, and the public in front of him. He knows his stuff. Where's the other microphone? Let me have it over here. I have the first question for you, Minister, because in light of the testimony you gave of 20 years ago and what COK did for you, the question that Ambassador Assamba asked is now more poignant than ever before. Why is it? In light of the 2 million members or so that we have, in light of you recognizing that it's about ownership, why can't the pensioners get their pay through the credit union? Please answer that one first, and then we'll come back to the core banking system. You can use this mic, sorry.
Yeah, so that exhortation from Ambassador Assamba, exhortation, not true? Sound like a true preacher woman, is one that I take on wholeheartedly. There's no good reason why. And if we are to have a competitive landscape, we cannot put all of the eggs in one place or one sector. What we want is, we want ultimately for individuals to choose, right? And wherever they choose, we can direct. We don't want to back stuff up somewhere and limit choice. Limiting choice limits competition. So I would say to you, Ambassador, that your exhortation or your message or your seeds have landed on fertile soil. And we just need to make the investments and make the policy, implement the policy to make it effective, right? In the next term.
Mr. Duffus and Ms. Livingston up here because I have some questions from social media. So if you stand right in front of this microphone and I'll put some of the questions to you. Thank you to those who have joined on the various platforms with the hashtag COKCU. One of the people watching online wants to know, how will members benefit from this new system? Which of you will take that? How will members benefit?
Okay, we spoke about the benefits earlier. We spoke about the fact that the members will now be able, Mr. Shaw mentioned, get up in the middle of the night, do a transaction, transfer funds, open a fixed deposit. If you think your debit card is compromised, you can log on to the internet banking and disable that debit card until you sort it out. So those are some of the benefits that our members will have.
Right, and as you mentioned debit card, Ms. Livingston, if you can step up and answer this one for me, is a debit card needed to sign up for this core banking platform?
No, you don't need to have a debit card to sign up. You just need to come in, or you can soon, in the coming days, you'll be able to call through our call center as well to do the online banking sign up. So you don't really need to have a debit card. We do encourage all our members to have a debit card based on the convenience that it provides.
Right, so come back now, Mr. Duffus. Can we yet sign up for this? Or can any member walk in or call any of the COK branches to sign up for this new system?
Yes. At this point, you can walk in to any branch, sign up for the system, and you can also sign up for the internet banking system, then go online and set up your alerts. You get an alert when you have a successful login.
Yes.
You get an alert if you do too much password attempts. So you have the control over how that functions.
And what do I need if I come in to sign up? What do I need to have with me? Do I need any particular piece of identification, or by virtue of being a member, you already have my details and I just need to come in and sign up?
Well, you need to walk with your ID because we need to verify that you're actually who you say you are. So even though you're a member, we do require that you present a valid identification, and we will do the necessary checks on our system to verify that you're actually a member, and then we move from there.
What ID you want? Voter's ID or COK ID?
Well, you can use any of the three. You can use passport, national ID, or your driver's license. We also offer our members at COK an ID. It's a COK ID, member ID, and so you can walk with that ID and use that as well.
Right. And if I'm having difficulty now, Mr. Duffus, if I've signed up, I'm on the system, but somehow I'm having some difficulty, is there a number I can call quickly to have it rectified?
Yes, our call center will be able to assist you.
And your call center is 24 hours?
No, not at this time.
What are the hours?
Working hours, 8:30 to 4:30.
Okay. And Ms. Livingston, we talk about an app. Is the app now available that I could go on the Google Play Store and download, or what?
Yes, you certainly can go on the Google Play Store and access the COK app. And once you sign up for the online banking, you can just go on and access the mobile banking platform as well. So you can go to the App Store and have that done.
Right. Do you remember the name of the app? It's COKCU or?
COK
Yes, Mr. Duffus.
Mobile app.
COK Mobile.
Yeah.
So I haven't been into COK for a long time, but I'm a member. My account is not dormant. You don't have dormant accounts, really, do you?
Yes.
Oh,
But you can come in and
reactivate.
Yeah.
Okay, so if I haven't been in COK for a long time, I've never had a debit card. If I go onto the App Store now and download the app, can I get onto this platform, or I would need to go into a physical branch to reactivate my customer membership and so forth? Tell me what I need to do.
Well, that would be encouraged, because if you're dormant, you really need to come in and reactivate your account. And in reactivating your account, you need to take with you a valid identification. Your address might have changed, so you also need to take along proof of identification, because remember, you have to be KYC compliant as a member, and so we would want to take care of those steps first, and then we move on to the online banking, the mobile banking, and all the exciting features that comes with Universal. But we need to get your account reactivated and properly updated.
Right. A number of people who are members of the COK, members of the credit union, are older people or younger people who've come into knowledge of the credit union over the years. Some people who don't have access to internet, some people who don't have a smartphone. How many of these people do you think will therefore not be able, what percentage of your membership will not be able to have this online system that you're now putting in place, Mr. Duffus?
Well, I don't believe we have a percentage now, but what I can tell you is that the people that we classified as older, they are the ones who are asking for this service, asking for the internet banking, asking for how you get on to log on and do your transactions.
Right.
So,
yeah, go ahead.
yes.
Ms. Livingston, tell me now, I'd asked before, can I transfer money from the COK online platform to any other branch of a credit union, to any commercial bank? Can I pay my JPS bill, which is very high? Can I pay my NWC bill? What? Tell me.
All right, that is the next phase of the project. So when we say we close out in 2021, these are the added things that are coming. So right now you can only transfer within your account, but being a member of COK, you can come in and transfer through the other mediums that we have, the other external transfer methods that we have to any other institutions. But doing it online right now, it's going to be the next phase of the project, so that will come on after.
So at the moment, what can I do with the platform?
You can transfer within your account. So if you have money in your savings account and you need to pay your loan, you can transfer to pay your loan. If you have standing order setups that you have to pay to other institutions externally, yes, you can do transfers to your standing order account, and you can pay you can send money to other institutions through that medium, through the standing order setup. You can disable your ATM card using the online banking platform right now. So if you feel like your card has been compromised, you can easily go on and you can do that. There are some other exciting features coming on the online banking platform that they're currently there, and we will soon open them up to the membership. For example, you can go in if you have excess money in your savings account, you can move that money to a fixed deposit account. So it allows you a lot of flexibility within COK to move around your funds and put it where you need to have it. I know we have been talking a lot about the online banking and the mobile banking platform, but we also have an interactive voice recording platform as well that offers similar features where you can call in and you can do your transfers within your account in a similar fashion that you would do through the online banking or mobile banking platform as well.
And that would benefit the visually impaired?
It would.
Would it?
Yes. And I think some of the seniors would prefer that option as well, the IVR system, because a lot of the seniors, sometimes they're afraid of the technology, yes, or using the telephone might be an easier way for them to do their transfers and so on.
What does IVR stand for?
Interactive voice recording system.
Okay.
So you call in and you just indicate what it is that you want to do, similar to what you would do via online and mobile banking.
Right. Mr. Duffus?
I just want to add something to what Mrs. Livingston said. You can also transfer to related account. So if there's another credit union member, you can set up on your internet banking, transfer to that credit union member.
A related COK member?
Credit member, yes.
Right, okay. Now, is this for free? Or is there a fee for any transfer or any transaction we do online on your platform?
I would refer to the CEO, the CFO.
CFO, is that you or is the CEO?
It's free. It's free at the moment.
At the moment, it's free. Yeah. Do you have any other questions, anyone, for Mr. Duffus and Ms. Livingston? Oh, seems... Can I? Yes, you can come, Ambassador. Thank you so much, Ms. Livingston.
I want to thank the Minister for what he said earlier on, and congratulating him for being a member of COK, as I do for you. But I want to just make one little thing clear, because I'm a credit unionist. I'm a credit unionist, so I talk on behalf of the entire movement. And Minister, while we look forward to the day when BOJ is going to be our supervisor and regulator, I have to acknowledge the work that the Registrar of Cooperative Societies have been doing with credit unions all these years. And we have a representative here. Unfortunately, the registrar himself was not able to come. I have to recognize that. I also want to just clarify something. Credit unions have always had what we call the Stabilization Fund. Thank you. And every year, from the profits, other people would call it, and we call it surplus that is made, we have contributed 20% of our surplus. And that money is used in case a credit union has a problem, and a member has a problem. And You spoke about some time in the past when there's been problems and the government had to intervene. I want to make it very clear, the government has never had to intervene in bailing out any credit union in this country. The second thing I want to say is that we have also had insurance coverage through CUNA, Caribbean now, where it's something that we grew up in the credit union movement knowing about. It's called LP and LS, loan protection and savings protection. So when people die, everybody in the credit union knows the debt dies with the debtor. Not large sums, but enough. And more credit unions have now begun to put in place insurance coverage that if somebody dies, then their beneficiaries will not have to deal with that. I just wanted to make that clear, that we always had the stabilization fund, and we do have what we call LP and LS, which is at no cost to our members. And we're looking forward to, and I thank you, sir, for talking about the increase that comes with the FSC, and I'm glad to hear that, because it will certainly help. So, but you know, the reason why I came up here was just to clear up.
Thank you, Ambassador. I actually had it on my list because I heard you talk about the stabilization. Minister, I really wondered if we've had over 50 years of the credit union, 75 to be exact, regulating itself, having the stabilization fund, having the insurance with CUNA. Why then is the need for the oversight by the Bank of Jamaica with the supervisory framework? Yes.
So, I mean, just to put it in its most basic form, what you can do in terms of economies of scale with this is less than you can do if you pool together and you have that. Okay? So today, the credit union movement has, or over its history, has provided or sought to provide its sort of own protection in its sort of own sectoral space. Members, and that's good. Members can get more protection, however, if they're a part of a bigger system. And so the idea for this move is to make things better, right? So we go from good to better. So things are good. You have a stabilization fund, you have the LS and LP, and so on. But those protections are at a particular level. Once you come over, you're a part now of a bigger of a more diverse financial network in terms of the network that comes under the BOJ system. There will be the protections that are available will be even more than they are today. So it's about moving forward and moving in the right direction, right? This is not unique to Jamaica, while preserving all of the distinctive features of the credit union movement, all of the customer service features. And as I said, I know the credit union well, the personalized service, the fact that credit unions, a lot of the perception and the reality is that they serve the small man, the small woman very, very well, and they're reliable and dependable, and people feel comfortable, okay? All of that is preserved and will be preserved, and at the same time allowing the movement to have the advantage of having access to liquidity in the event that liquidity is needed, and also allowing members to enjoy even more protection than they have today, which is why this is being done in collaboration with the stakeholders. And the stakeholders right now have the bill that they are reviewing. So what we eventually take to Parliament will have the blessing of the stakeholders and will have the contribution of the stakeholders, because all that we're looking to do is to take things from one level and move them to a higher level. Okay?
In other words, Minister, you're moving from linoleum to carpet. That's what you're about, yes? It has been my absolute pleasure. Are there any more questions from the people watching online? The last time I checked, there was none. Any question from the audience in the room? Seems as if you have been well fed. We've moved from, it's QSS, Ambassador? QSIS. QSIS to FIN 2000. Now into Universal Core Premier Banking Suite. Please log on, enjoy, and thank you all so very much for having joined us for this press launch of COK Sodality new core banking system. I'm going to ask you all to have yourselves a good evening, and we look forward to having you when the new system is launched, whenever that is. I'm Emily Shields. Please take care.